Welcome back. We shift gears now to Russia's invasion of Ukraine, where the United Nations atomic watchdog is warning of a major nuclear accident following reports of a new drone attack on Ukraine's Zaporizhzhia power plant. 3 people were injured in that attack, which Russia blames on Ukraine, an allegation Kyiv has denied. The giant Russian-held nuclear plant with 6 reactors is on the front line of the Russia-Ukraine conflict. The UN's International Atomic Energy Agency has repeatedly warned against such attacks. IAEA head Rafael Grossi says a drone attack was reckless and a major escalation of the nuclear safety and security dangers facing the plant. The Zaporizhzhia plant in southern Ukraine is the largest in Europe. Russian forces seized it shortly after launching a full-scale invasion in February of 2022 and have occupied it ever since. The VOA's Anna Chernikova is in Kyiv for us. Anna, great to see you. How believable, is this warning about a nuclear incident that could happen in Zaporizhzhia?
Well, it's definitely a very great risk, and unfortunately this risk was always there, but at one point we felt that it was more or less stable, at least under control, as the International Atomic Energy Agency experts were on site and remain on site. It was kind of a stabilization, let's put it this way. But this recent attack definitely demonstrates that we should not just, we just not just forget about the fact that the plant remains under control of people, of armed people, that the plant remains mined, that there is a lot of equipment and weapon on the territory of the plant, and definitely it's an extremely great concern, both here in Kyiv and on the international scale, because we all understand that it's not just Ukrainian problem. This is the biggest in Europe nuclear power plant, and if something happens, if any nuclear incident happens, this will affect a huge territory and a lot of countries.
Yeah, and fears about the things going wrong in Zaporizhzhia has been growing since this war started. At the time, Russian forces invaded the Zaporizhzhia nuclear plants, taking control of towns and cities surrounding the plants. Presently, who controls the nuclear power plant? Because this is in southern Ukraine, right?
So the plant locates in the Zaporizhzhia region, in the city called Enerhodar, which is under Russian control. Russian forces occupied this town in the beginning of the invasion, in the beginning of March, if I'm not mistaken, and automatically the nuclear power plant was also occupied. It is under Russian control, the plant. At one point, it was negotiated by the International Atomic Energy Agency that their representatives will come to the plant and will be present at the plant. And we know that also there are reports, and we are following that Mr. Grossi, the head of the Atomic Energy Agency, is visiting plant time to time, also to check. But again, it's really it's really a very complicated situation, because despite the fact that International Atomic Energy Agency representation is there, we all understand that those people do not have access, and they are saying that they do not have access to the whole territory, and they only have access to the areas that Russian forces allow them to have access to. And there is also confirmed fact by them as well that there is a big amount of weapons present at station and the mines present at the station. So yeah, and also the staff, Russian energy agency, main energy agency, nuclear, sorry, energy agency company is in charge now of the staff and of the plant, of the operation of the plant. So it's completely, Ukrainian officials do not have access, and I've talked to Ukrainian officials, to Energoatom, which is Ukrainian main nuclear power company. They do not have access, and the only access and the only let's say information source that they have from the nuclear power plant is actually International Atomic Agency, Energy Agency team. So this is the situation as of now.
So the IAEA agents do not have access to the Zaporizhzhia power plant, but they are in Zaporizhzhia all the same, trying to gain access, to this nuclear plant, which is the largest in Europe. Does Russia benefit from Zaporizhzhia? And who is likely to, carry out these drone attacks on the nuclear power plant?
So look, Atomic Energy Agency have access to certain to certain areas at the plant. So they are present, but they don't have the full access. So they only have strictly controlled access, and well, we don't know exactly. It's not revealed exactly what they see and what they don't see. According to them, they have access to the to whatever is needed in order to ensure that nuclear part is secure. So this is what we know. Russian forces, yes, as you correctly said, is in charge. In terms of the terms of the drone attack, well, Russian officials and Russian representatives at the plant, of course, they were the first one to came with the comment, and they accused Ukraine of a drone attack. Ukrainian officials, particularly Ukrainian officials from the Ukrainian intelligence, denied that and say that this is not in the Ukrainian interest. This is not that Ukraine is not behind this, and that this is Russian actions which they do regularly. This is according to Ukrainian intelligence. So and International Atomic Energy Agency do not confirm whose drone was there. So at this point, we do not have any independently verified information. We just don't have enough information. So we just have confirmation of the fact that this happened. If we analyze everything that happens around nuclear power plant in Zaporizhzhia region, well, it doesn't look that Ukraine is interested in the nuclear accident, because, well, we all understand that Ukraine will suffer the most, despite the fact that this not only gonna be, not only Ukraine will suffer, but Ukraine will definitely suffer the most. So it doesn't look like they have an interest. From the other hand, it doesn't really, it's really difficult to imagine that any party would do this on purpose, creating such risk for the region. But at this point, we are hearing from time to time, we have confirmation that there is quite a lot of shelling in that area, and I don't really want to be the one to point to any of the parties, but I don't really see Ukrainian interest in that. In terms of Russian interest, well, could be that it's kind of to create this intimidation around this, but again, we don't have any confirmations so far.
Yeah, and your thoughts are valid on this, Anna, because in the early days and early weeks of the war, there were attacks around the Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant, raising fears, that a nuclear incidents could happen, which would affect all of Europe, which would eventually affect people around the area. So that area was evacuated. But I'm just wondering if Ukrainian authorities, well, you say they have no interest there, but do they have any interest in protecting the nuclear plant to ensure that there is no nuclear incident?
Well, definitely. Ukrainian officials, so their position is, and this is what the officials are saying, that they are ready to take responsibility for the plant and to take control of the plant any moment. Ukrainian officials say that Russian representatives should leave and Russian forces should leave, so that Ukraine and Ukrainian staff can take over the plant, because the problem is not only of the physical safety, as we discussed today, because of the drone attack, but also we have to understand that such plant is a very complicated mechanism, and staff who work there, they have certain certification and accreditation to work with such equipment, and Ukrainian staff has this accreditation and this right. So Russian staff, which is present at the moment, they do not have, and they cannot do certain actions. At least this is what experts explained to me. So this is another concern that will be. I think that at one point we will come to this discussion, that there are certain actions to be done, like for example the fuel should be changed and stuff like this, in order to ensure from the inside that the operation is safe of all of the
Regular
reactors.
maintenance, you mean?
Yes, exactly. Yes, and so it should be staff which is certified to do this. So it's also this concern. So at this point, we just see that this is definitely gonna at one point will be another issue with the plant, and it's coming, and it's already discussed, especially here inside of Ukraine, because as I said, Ukraine will be the first one to feel the effect of any accident if it happens. And Atomic Energy Agency, of course, is doing everything possible, but again, they are restricted in their actions at this point. So it's kind of a it's a very complicated situation, and it's really. It's really difficult to estimate how long and what should happen for this situation to be clarified, because the city itself is under Russian forces control. So them leaving the plant, well, it's very difficult to imagine at this point. So we'll see.
Yeah, and I understand how difficult it is for you to report on this, Anna, because you're trying very hard not to give a lot away. Just wondering, what other European countries who do have a stake in this, because it is Europe's largest nuclear power plant. It provides, electricity to many, European countries. Have they said anything about, this situation, and are they concerned about it?
Yes, there is a huge concern, and all parties involved. I mean, European leaders, U.S. leadership. Of course, everyone is encouraging the parties to come to conclusion and to come to understanding of what could be done. Again, according to Ukrainian officials, they are ready to take over the operation of the plant and to bring the certified staff back and to demine the station and to and basically at this point the main discussion and the most realistic situation that Ukrainian officials and international partners, allies, see is to create a demilitarized zone around the plant, at least around the plant. But at this point, Russian side do not, confirm any possible realistic scenarios, because it's not only Ukrainian side who can say, okay, we are ready. It should be also Russian side, because they are currently in charge. So creating demilitarized area would be, of course, a very good, short term, but how to say it? It will be a short term resolution of this issue, but at least at certain point we will be sure that it's no shelling around, and it's no military around, and there's no mines and explosives on the territory. But Again, it should be the decision of Russia as well, and it looks like, according at least to actions done by the International Atomic Energy Agency, and Rafael Grossi was meeting with Putin, who was visiting Russia some months ago. I guess this discussion is probably ongoing, but if we will see the result or not, again, only time can give us this the answer to this question. But there is a big hope that this could be done, because the risks is extremely high at this point, and also the fact that because of the shelling, electricity supply to the plant is always under very big risk. It's only one line which is operating all the time. Second line is not operating, is operating time to time, but now it's back to operation, but it's not enough still. So basically, the biggest nuclear power plant in Europe is now relying all this time on generators, and this is also something that do not, add additional, let's say, optimism to the whole situation.
Yes, Anna, thank you so much. And do realize, how challenging it is for Ukraine to generate electricity to all parts of the country given this war. Thank you again for speaking with us, and do stay safe, Anna.
Thank you.